Hey everyone, IvyLeeGaming here, and today we're playing Genshin Impact. For today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and do a bit of an honest review. As a new player of Genshin Impact, what do I really think? Does it live up to expectations? You might have already heard my TLDR if you have watched a few other of my videos, but here I am finally playing Genshin Impact, and I wanted to give like my most brutally honest review I could. The good, the bad, does it live up to the hype? Do I love it as much as I thought I would? I kind of want to talk about all of that today, and I'm gonna start off by talking about my journey, I guess, with the game. And include, well, how I got here, right? So I'll try to be as quick and concise as possible for a TLDR of my Genshin story, but pretty much the game came out a few years ago, right? And at the time I had no interest in this style of gaming. I was playing, I think, Raid Shadow Legends at the time, and I really liked that dark fantasy vibe. When I saw all these cartoony anime style looking games, I was not interested, honestly. And at the time I didn't even like or watch anime, honestly, either. Eventually it's grown on me and now I quite love it, but that's another story. But I had a friend encouraging me to play. Like at the time, Marvel Future Revolution had just came out, or was about to come out, and I was gonna play the soft launch, but I was debating. My friend Papa Tez was strongly encouraging me to play Genshin Impact because he loved it so much. And my friends like Joey B were gonna play Marvel Future Revolution. So I kind of did a community poll. I actually polled my community to see what should we play. It ended up being 50-50. And so I went on the side of the brand new exciting game of Marvel Future Revolution, which I don't regret. That was a ton of fun while it lasted. But I ended up giving in. I ended up playing Genshin back then for like a few days, maybe a week, but only logging in briefly for like half an hour here and there. I can't really remember the exact time frame, but I didn't make it very far, to say the least. And I loved it instantly, but I thought it was going to be way too time consuming. As someone who played Raid Shadow Legends, well, that game kind of consumes your life, to be honest. It definitely consumes your life, and I really couldn't see playing another game that would be that time consuming. So at the time, it just made sense for me to not continue playing. And that's what I did. I stopped, but I'm like, maybe this will be something I would play in the future. It seems lovely. It's beautiful, as we can see here, as I literally am recording during a sunset. And the characters are really fun, as we can see with Zhongli here on the screen. But that's kind of what happened now. So fast forward to December 2022, I stopped playing Raid Shadow Legends. I quit completely, and I had my eyes open to any other game. I was really enjoying Infinite Magic Raid at the time, and playing some other games still on the side, and I knew Honkai Star Rail was coming, so I was really excited for that. I always wanted to play Genshin more, and the more I played Honkai Star Rail, the more I wanted to play Genshin, and here I am, right? Here I am. I wanted to stress that even as someone who didn't play Genshin, I loved Genshin. And that's a lot of expectations, I guess, but also it's just seeing the vibes of everything and really appreciating all the work that goes into it, the lore that goes into it, the character creation, the story, the passion of the community. I loved everything about it. Now, that's what, I guess we could talk about that first. The story. So, it's definitely interesting me. So far, I don't think the story's disappointed. I'm not as super, okay, I guess I would say I'm not super grabbed yet, like as far as the story goes. I don't have emotional attachments to really anyone in the story yet. But if you want to know where I am, let me just show you guys. I am very early still. I'm only not even 2 weeks in. I'm on Chapter 1, Act 1. I walked all the way to Liyue because I just wanted to continue some of the story and work on my missions. So that was interesting to do. And yeah, I'm to the we passed the point of the basics in Mondstadt, I guess you could say. I am AR 24, going on to 25, where I'll be able to unlock my next world level and finally improve my characters. When it comes to the story, though, I would say the chef competition with Zhongling was pretty cute, right? I really think that was quite cute. I was enjoying that. Shengling, sorry. But I don't know that like much else has interested me too much. The main character's cute, but I'm actually not using her as a character. And I actually feel because I'm not using her as a character, I don't feel as connected to her in the story with her, even though she is you, like, or she is us, right? She is us. But I don't feel as connected to her, honestly, but that might be why. There's definitely some interesting personalities so far, and I'm definitely getting interested, but I'm not quite as like obsessed with the story yet as I might have expected from the beginning. So that is the reality too. I do like the humor for sure. I like Paimon's spunky personality and picking on Venti, you know, tone-deaf bard. That is super cute. I love it. I think it's really funny to have that banter and to have that carry on. And when she's actually nice to Venti, you're like, oh, that's different for Paimon. And I think they're doing a good job there. So getting used to the controls of the new game have been a bit hard for me. I'm used to a slower paced, turn-based RPG or real-time auto combat, not a RPG style with live combat, live fighting, in-action, action RPG style. It's just not my thing. It's been a while, and I think it's a little bit hard to get used to. But I'm getting used to it, and that's another story. But climbing and gliding were very hard for me on day one. I definitely struggle with gliding still when I have to have specific maneuvers. But climbing, I think I've got the hang of. As you can see, I was on the top of that lovely, lovely pillar here. And I'm quite proud of my progress for climbing. But I think it was really funny. Day one, I did not understand that you could jump as you're climbing and go up around things, or that it would make you go faster, but you lose more stamina. It took me a bit of time playing before I realized you could even do that, because if it wasn't for Twitch chat, I don't even think I would have ever jumped while climbing unless I accidentally did it. We were joking about Lisa climbing, and I was like, oh, I think she makes the sounds when she's jumping while climbing, and I was like, jumping while climbing? Like, the game really doesn't explain a lot. You have to kind of figure a lot out on your own, but I guess that's also what content creators are for, and I'm glad I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. Now, speaking of content creators, YouTube videos, oh my gosh. One thing that they definitely talk about is how overwhelming it is for a new player. This is a kind of game where you can so easily squirrel onto the, like, you start to do one thing and then you're off to the next, and it's really hard to keep on track and stay focused. But it's also hard to know what you should do or should you not do. I mean, there's so many things. Like, I'm glad the first day that chat encouraged me to push through to the very first Archon quest to unlock like the dailies, like to get commissions and some of that before really starting to go off and explore. But now that I have, or what was it? It was technically to get to my first summoning. Then once I got to my first summoning, I started to explore more. But now that I'm progressing more and more, and the Archon quests are pushing me further and further away to other areas, I still feel extremely overwhelmed. Let's go ahead and take a look at my map for an example. Okay, so, I mean, what do we even, look at all of this. It says I've only explored 49% of Starfell Valley. Like, what? I mean, a lot of that is involving the chests and everything. That's the reality. When it comes to collecting chests, I've barely scratched the surface. Here we are. Look at this. I've grayed out a few things here. When we come over here, I've sort of worked on stuff, kinda, not really. Oh my gosh, like, I felt accomplished just by doing this area here. Which, oops, I think I don't know if I got that one. But yeah, I feel like when you see this kind of a map and you're like, this is how much I still have to gather, to some extent. Obviously, some of these I've just grabbed but not logged on the interactive map. But it's honestly overwhelming. It's like, okay, I've done a little part of Mondstadt, now what? It's hard to know what I should do, and that's my biggest struggle. It's really, really hard because I want to continue to where I unlock the important things, but which things should I worry about now? Which things should I go back to later? What story quests should I do now? Which ones should I do later? Should I just push through the Archon quests? Do I have to do certain ones of these before I push the Archon quests? Is it better to take time to explore with every single stop along the way? Like, there's so much of a balance that's really hard and really overwhelming for a new player. And that has been one of my biggest, I don't want to say complaints, but trying to find a balance of not letting the game stress me out because I feel like I need to catch up to where I am AR 30. So I do understand I want to get to AR 30 and complete Ritu Escape Plan for the Archon quest so I can unlock missions, right? Or sorry, events. Yeah, events. There's a lot of the stuff that goes on with events. Now, there are some event stuff I can do. I can do this divine ingenuity stuff. I did start to do this, and I did complete a few little things just checking it out. But I don't know about this. This seems like something I'm not quite ready for, but maybe I'm losing out on resources if I don't actually do it, so I probably want to get in there. And yeah, I'm getting these new characters. At least I could do the trials. But there's only so much to do, right? There's only so much to do. And I'm missing out on all of the resources that come when they have big updates, like version updates. And I don't want to miss out for too much longer, but I also don't want to stress myself out. So honestly, I think I'm trying to do my best to find that balance and enjoy the game and have it not stress me out. So here, depending on where you are and when you're watching this video, for me, I still have 5 hours as I'm blocking it. Oh, I can't move myself and have this on my screen full screen. Sorry. I have 5 hours and 18 minutes remaining as of this video recording, which is on the 13th of June, the day these banners are releasing. They just release them at different times. I'm in Europe. But yeah, I am going to summon for Kazuha, I think. And then I'm going to save, hopefully, for someone like Zhongli in the future. For the next set, like 4.0 onward. We'll see if that happens as hoped. But yeah, I did not pull anything here. I did not pull anything here. That's another squirrel thing too. There's just so much that's overwhelming, as in, what should we summon for? What quest should we be doing? How much should we be exploring? Should we over-explore every step along the way, or is that wasting too much time? Do you go back and re-explore later, or are you wasting your time because you're never going to want to go back because the rewards suck because that was earlier game? Like, there's just a lot. And with that in mind, I do want to point out that I actually am going to be kind of focusing a certain content creator's, I guess, strategy to be my guru, so to speak. So I've been trying to find beginner Genshin content, which might be a little bit harder to find, honestly, because, well, I mean, the game's been out for a while, right? But I really like Sharkheart's way of explaining things. I like the breakdowns he's done. And coincidentally, he actually just did an updated version of the step-by-step guide, best method for evolving and progressing through your character, through your account, what you should do at each different AR level, and what are the traps, what should you focus on, etc. So I found his older video first and then realized he had a newer one. And I'm gonna kind of follow that recommendation. And I love that he has these, like, videos based on every character. I think that was more recent. Like a quick how to build every character type guide. How to build everyone in the game. That was really fun to just quickly see some notes on some of these people and get some of the terminology in my head, because that's overwhelming too. Learning a new game, it's really hard to focus and also focus on progression, learn every character's skills, learn just the new terminology of the game. And it's, thank God I've played other gacha games because it helps me connect the dots. Also, I played Honkai Star Rail before I properly played Genshin, so a lot of things are very similar and that helps as well. But it's still different at the end of the day, right? It's still different. I feel overall I'm still very glad I am playing, but I'm really gonna need someone's help like this, right? I'm gonna need someone to, I'm just gonna need to follow a guide. And I don't want to say that everyone should follow a guide. Everyone, you can play at your own pace and do what you want. But I like to have some resemblance of guidance to where I don't make too many mistakes as far as as an early game player goes. I really, really just love the idea of having a general mindset of a general goal. And I'm not going to be completely free to play. I'm not. I at least do the weekly I do the battle pass and the monthly Primo Gem daily. Well, you get them daily, but you pay for it monthly. Primo Gem Welkin pass, right? But I really love having an idea of where to go and feel like, okay, have I hit the milestones of like this, right? That's kind of like, this is my current thing. This was my focus. All right, next. But then know that I am spending, so I might do things a little bit faster, hopefully. But I really, really like his content, and I think he's kind of gonna be my guru. So feel free, let me know, guys, if you have any ideas in the comments below of specific content creator videos, people you really like to watch live on Twitch, or anything that you really find helpful, a special website you love that really you think new players should absolutely know about. Let me know in the comments below. I'm always looking for me to be able to progress and learn, and for something that I can share to other people as well, because I'm streaming this live on Twitch. And I mean, I've had people say, yeah, I've kind of always wanted to play Genshin too. Maybe I'll give it a try finally. And I feel like that's going to happen a lot. You know, it's one of those, the rules I feel as if you have something, if you have a real feeling, like if I did this, someone else has too. Like I started with Honkai Star Rail and it made me more and more and more curious about Genshin Impact. I know I'm not the only one, right? I'm not the only one that's gonna play Honkai Star Rail first and then be like, you know what, I really think I'd like Genshin better. Let's try that out instead. So here we are. I am still playing Honkai Star Rail, by the way, guys. I'm just not gonna be really possibly creating any content. I'm not quite sure. I might randomly stream it on Twitch here and there, but I think I prefer to stream Genshin and the other style for my other YouTube channel, like the dark fantasy games. So yeah, I love it though. It's really lovely, and I'm really glad I'm deciding to play. So I'm gonna take a look here. I do want to talk about some more likes and dislikes. So let's go back to the list. I made a list. The Elemental Trials. Oh yeah, make sure you guys are following Sharkheart's page. He's really, really great with guides if you don't already know him. I love his content. I really hope I've chosen a good guru. You guys can let me know if you agree. But alright, let's go to the map. So, I have not done all these. I know I need to because that's what teaches me. I know I need to. But I was actually kind of shocked at how picky it was. And this is the same is true for some of their challenges as well. They don't give you any room for error. And I find that the game is a little too strict for some of, especially the earlier game content, to require people to just be perfect with their timing and perfect with the order of everything, to where it could be a bit frustrating as a new player. That would be one of my biggest critiques of the game, is it needs to relax a little bit on some of the challenges and even the tutorial type stuff like doing the Elemental Trials. I was shocked at how hard. And I'm not saying, it doesn't mean I think I'm being bad at the game. I say that as someone who I feel is learning pretty well and understands the basics. But my god, if you just don't time something perfectly, or oh god, all those silly challenges where it's like you miss one ring to boost you through quickly and you can't get there fast enough, or like the one with lighting all the lantern things, not lantern, little, I can't remember, they call them something weird that didn't make sense. But you had to light a bunch of stuff and then go get a chest. If you don't do it literally perfect timing with Amber, you miss one single arrow, it fails. Like there's just so many things like that that I'm shocked at how strict it is, you know? Or like trying to grab an Animalculus after jumping off a cliff. If you don't literally jump perfectly, you just can't get or the exact right spot. It feels like there's no other spot except this one spot to do it. And if you don't do it perfectly, you're gonna just barely miss the Animalculus and fall and have to try it again and again and again. I like that to some extent, that they are forcing you to learn, but I think as far as the earlier stuff goes, they need to chill out in Mondstadt, the Mondstadt area, especially with some of these restrictions and how difficult. I find myself wasting too much time that I could be exploring and doing quests, trying to redo and redo and redo a stupid challenge that I'm just missing by 1 or 2 seconds. Like, literally, like 1 or 2 seconds. So many challenges made me just feel the need to do over and over and over again. And I didn't feel like I was really learning anything by doing that. I was already understanding what I needed to do. I was just slightly off on something. I don't know. That's my biggest gripe. What, did you guys agree? Did you ever feel that too in this game? Does it stay like that? Does it get worse? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, again, of course I want to get comfortable with the controls and get used to switching around through the characters and maneuvering and getting used to the elemental reactions. There's so much to learn here, which I'm gonna go do all of these probably today as of this recording. But my god, like, I don't know. I just wish they would relax just a little bit. And talking about controls, I actually my hands hurt so bad while playing that I had to buy a controller just for playing Genshin Impact. Yeah, I'm not used to the So that's gonna be another video on its own. I'm gonna actually do a review of playing Genshin Impact with a controller. How did it feel? What were my first impressions? How are the transitions? What about going from keyboard to mouse to controller? Like, all of that. I'm gonna do a separate video on that, so stay tuned if I haven't already posted that. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will do that as well. But I definitely am not used to this. I'm used to a turn-based game, and my goodness, my hands hurt, that's for sure. So I think my other comment or critique about some of the stuff that I've noticed in the game is another fun, positive first impression. I like the logic to the world in the game. Like, okay, you guys saw, here I was standing up here, right? And it was raining. I love that when it rains, you can't light a fire. And like this, it can be frustrating at times, but it's funny and it's clever. One thing I don't like about the logic of this game is this frustrating permafrost area. Oh my goodness. Speaking of which, where is my portal that I unlocked? Oh, here it is. Oh my god, this area, you guys know. I heard that people did not like when this came out, but this area that's covered in snow and you get freaking frostbitten pretty much, right? That's frustrating as hell to try to do a quest and try to find the red things at the same time while trying to do the quest. I don't know how I feel about that yet, but it's creative and I like the logic behind it. Like, you can't just run around in the freezing cold and not get, like, hypothermia. It's creative. I think it's funny that you can get struck by lightning. And yeah, I like the cleverness to the world and some of the funny logic that goes along with it. And let me know in the comments below, do you guys have any favorite quirks like that you love about the game, that you found really clever, that you haven't seen other games do? I think the environmental cleverness, it's just really fun, like being able to freeze the water to walk across it, swimming but running out of breath. You can't just swim forever. Like, I actually think that adds to the excitement and the enjoyment of the game when there is unique challenges that are also science. Alright, but I think this kind of wraps up my first impressions. I think overall, I love the game, I love the vibe, the characters are so fun, and I'm having a lot of fun with what I have done so far. But I definitely feel overwhelmed, and I don't want to feel that way. I need to find a way to not let it get to me, the idea of I have to get to a certain point or I'm missing out. I don't want to have that FOMO feeling, so I'm trying my best to turn that part of my gotcha gamer brain off and just roll with it, grind out, chest hunt when I feel like it. But let me know in the comments below, did you guys have any strategies that you found really worked for you? I'd love to hear your thoughts of what helped you to feel like chill in the game. Now, remember, I'm coming in as a new player. I've seen so many content creators say that they don't envy a new player these days. Like, it's hard to come in as a new player because it's so overwhelming, because there's so much to do, because the character banners are complicated. But do I have any newer players maybe that have only started playing more recently that found a method to make you feel less stressed about that stuff? Do you have once I hit this certain point, I just went and cleared the map and ignored everything else except for the dailies? Is there a certain point that is really good for that? That's the kind of stuff that I would love to get some tips on myself, because I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Like, it's impossible to do everything every day that I really wish I could, and try to still play for what? I probably play for 1 to 3 hours a day. Maybe more certain days, but probably at least an hour every day I'm trying. But that can be hard sometimes. Not every day I'm gonna have that kind of time. Some days I'm just gonna do the dailies and walk away. The dailies take a bit longer. I mean, the commissions can be time consuming, but not really. They're not bad. It's more so grinding out the resin every day and actually completing, like, using my energy so I feel like I'm not wasting it. That takes long. That's frustrating. So, I don't know. I kind of wish that I had a plan. But maybe I don't need a plan. Maybe I just need to chill, go with the flow, and enjoy it. And whatever feels right, feels right. Play it, have fun. Don't let it stress me out, because that's the whole reason I wanted to play the game in the first place. Right? I think that's a better way to go about it, but... Alright guys, I'd love to hear any final first impressions you had in the comments below. And if there's any other tips for new players, feel free to share. It's always fun to read the comments, and hopefully other people can really enjoy reading the comments as well and learn and, yeah, interact. I love the community. I think it's so great that people are so passionate about this game, and I look forward to my Genshin journey, and I hope you guys will share it with me. Join me live on Twitch. We're just pretty chill. We have fun. I kind of like this. I like to have a more relaxed vibe. I'm not used to this whole YouTube world of the super over-edited videos. I'm used to where I came from. In Raid Shadow Legends, we laugh at the people that do the weird edited videos. We're like, why are they doing that cheesy edit? They don't need those silly cuts. You just hang out and talk. Like, it's usually that kind of a vibe. And that's where I come from in my community. The biggest content creators and the other games I've played just do a more relaxed game, chill, let's talk style. Or even when we're doing a strict character guide, it's just going through while we're here talking. It's such a different atmosphere, but maybe you guys will like that. For me, I'm gonna try to stick to that a little bit more than the crazy over-edited, super fancy feeling YouTube style, because it doesn't make sense. I'm doing more of a let's play style, and I want you guys to play with me. So let's hang out, let's be friends, let's have some drinks and some laughs while I'm live on Twitch, or just hang out with me here on YouTube. And I'll see you in the next video.